Hello, this video will be on the fried liver attack opening. This video will cover the tricks and traps for both colors, as well as the best objective defense for the black pieces. In my opinion, the best defense is to avoid the fried liver attack altogether. If you'd like to see how to do that, you can check out my video guide on the 1e5 opening for the black pieces. The fried liver attack begins after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, and then knight to g5 by the white pieces. The main idea of the fried liver attack is to set up the knight and the bishop on this f7 pawn and set up a potential fork to win an exchange. The first variation we're going to take a look at is known as the Traxler Variation by black, which is a rare sideline, but it's a very tricky one, with bishop to c5. The reason that this move is so dangerous is that the natural-looking move knight takes f7 is actually a huge mistake. The reason that this is a mistake is that black is able to play the move bishop takes f2, check. And after king takes f2, they have knight takes e4 check. And then after a move like king to g1, black can play queen to h4, setting up potential mate and one threats. After a natural-looking move like g3, in order to block checkmate, black can just take the pawn anyways. And then after h takes g3, queen takes g3 check, king f1, rook f8. According to the engine, it's all zeros, but practically this is really bad for white because their king is under attack, this knight is pinned, and all these pieces are completely undeveloped. Practically speaking, it's almost completely losing for the black pieces or for the white pieces already. If we go back to the starting position of the Traxler, we now know that knight takes f7 is a huge mistake, and the best move is actually to play bishop takes f7 check. And then after a move like king to f8, we can just calmly move our bishop back to bishop to b3. And this is the best way to refute the Traxler variation for the white pieces. The Traxler variation would be a great weapon, especially in blitz and bullet, if you do encounter the fried liver attack while playing the black pieces. Especially in lower elos, where many people won't know the correct refutation. And even in this position, it's still not completely losing for black. They're only down a pawn. Continuing down the main line of the fried liver attack, we're going to look at the move pawn to d5, which is the best attempt at trying to block this attack on the f7 pawn. Now as the white pieces, we're going to play e takes d5, using the pawn to set up an attack on the knight. And now the most natural looking move for the black pieces is actually a huge mistake, which is knight takes d5. The reason that this is a huge mistake is that we can actually just sacrifice our knight on f7, setting up the double attack. If the king takes the knight, we have queen to f3 check, double attacking the king and the knight. The best way that black has to try and continue is to move the king out of check and to defend the knight with king to e6, which is the only move that doesn't lose material. And now as the white pieces, our game plan is to continue to pile pressure on this knight while it's pinned, and we can do that with a move such as knight to c3. Now, the most dangerous try from the black pieces is the move knight to b4, which defends the knight on d5, and also threatens a fork on c2. As the white pieces, the best way to avoid this fork is to just calmly castle kingside, getting the rook ready to get into the game. From here, the game can continue with a move like c6, d4. If e takes d4, that'd be a huge mistake because it opens up the file to the king with a move like rook f e1. And from here, it's practically losing. But I have a continuation here, such as king to d7, bishop takes d5, knight takes c2, queen f7 check, bishop blocks, bishop e6 check, king c7, bishop f4 check, king to b6, knight a4 check, king a5. We can actually just play queen f5 check here, sacrificing the knight completely. After bishop b3 check, king to b4, and bishop to d2, this is actually checkmate already, off the fried liver attack. The main idea we want to remember out of the opening is that the natural looking move, knight takes d5, is actually a huge mistake as it walks into the move knight takes f7. Remembering the idea that we have this queen to f3 double attack idea. Finally, we're going to showcase the best objective defense for the black pieces in the fried liver attack. So after d5, e takes d5, the best move from the black pieces that they have to remember is the move knight to a5, immediately attacking this bishop. Now, as the white pieces, the move I recommend here is playing bishop to b5 check. And after the move c6, d takes c6, b takes c6, the move I recommend is queen to f3, which pins the pawn. If the pawn takes a bishop, we can pick up the rook. If a move like bishop to d7, we can just move our bishop back with bishop to a4. And then an example continuation from here could be bishop e7, d3, castles, castles. And this position, practically speaking, is pretty equal. Neither side is really under threat. Neither side really has any sort of attack at the moment. This could potentially be a weakness down the line, but it's not at the moment. So overall, this is objectively the best defense for the black pieces if you do end up walking into the fried liver attack. As a special bonus, I wanted to showcase a quick win that could happen for the black pieces this time in the Traxler counterattack line if white unknowingly walks into the move knight takes f7. Now, following the continuation as before, we have bishop takes f2 check. After king takes f2, we have knight takes e4 check. And then after the move, king to g1, queen to h4. White tries to block the checkmate threat with g3. Unknowingly, black just picks up the pawn anyways with the knight. After h takes g3, queen takes g3 check. King to f1. Black plays the move rook to f8, which pins the knight. And white in this position continues with the move queen to h5, which reinforces the knight. Now in this position, black plays the move d5, which opens up the bishop at the cost of a pawn, and white happily obliged and picked up the pawn. Now in this position, black was able to find the move knight to b4, which attacks both the bishop on d5 and threatens the pawn on c2. The best defense for white is to retreat the bishop to b3 in order to defend c2. But black plays a surprising move, and they took on c2 anyways. Now, after the move bishop takes c2, we see the idea of the knight sacrifice. Bishop to g4, attacking the queen. And the queen has nowhere to go where it can still defend the knight. And after a move such as queen to h2, retreating to the only safe square, black can play the move rook takes f7 check. Only ways to block. And then this is checkmate. So this is how quickly the game can end in favor of the black pieces in the Traxler counterattack line. Practically speaking, I think this is a great choice for black if you accidentally walk into the fried liver attack and don't remember a bunch of theory, because it's a very, very, very dangerous line for both sides if neither side is prepared. But if you are prepared in the Traxler, there's a good chance that you can catch white out and surprise them and get them trapped out of the opening. And that's it for this video. If you learned something or if you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps out a small channel like mine greatly. On my channel, I have other traps and quick win videos, as well as opening guides, if you'd like to check those out. But other than that, good luck in your future games, have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.